Alright then. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Acting Rilk and welcome to Bloodborne. So, it has been a very long time. Well, since I have been actually recording. Because I have been playing this game and uploading PS4 shares of it, quite a bit. This is my main character that I'm using. Like, what I'm trying to do now with this one is go for a 100% run with only using the Ligarius wheel, which is one of my new favorite weapons, because it's goddamn fantastic, and with the stats that I have, it is the second highest damage dealing weapon I can use. Of course, the highest is this beautiful sword right here, but that's kind of the easy mode of the game, and I like to challenge myself. This game is also on like NG plus 5 or something like that. The goal is to get to NG plus 10. But anyways, I will not be using this character to play Bloodborne, because strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, this is the full LP. When I create a new character. So, a couple of things. When I say full LP, I mean full. I mean full of the game, doing all the areas, all the bosses, probably even some of the chalice stuff, because there's certain pieces of it that are definitely interesting to show off. And of course the DLC. Now, I will say right away, the way that it'll go, I don't know how I'll mix the chalice stuff in. I'll find a way to do it, because it is useful for farming for materials, mainly chunks. When I get towards the very end of the game, up to the last bosses of the game, I will be switching to the DLC, because the problem is, when you finish this game and you finish whatever, and you end on whatever ending you are going to do, it goes right into New Game Plus. So I would like to not have that happen and be able to play with my character through New Game of the DLC, mainly because of two things. One, the DLC is the hardest piece of the entire game. Like, it's harder than the base game. And two, NG Plus on the DLC is insanely difficult. Like, even I don't think it even scales with like the normal NG Plus scaling of like NG Plus 2, 3, 4, 5 and on. Like the base game does. It just goes the one up stack of NG Plus, and then adding a few extra stuff onto, extra pieces onto it. So yeah. Other thing with full LP is that this game deserves as much examination as possible. So that means item descriptions, a little bit of lore that I can get. Like, I'm not Vadi, I'm not Ian B, and I'm not German Spy, so I can't do that detail. But I can give you everything that I have and everything that I've seen from their side, just to enhance the experience. Like, this is hopefully going to be a really good LP. I was recently watching some other people play the game. I've had a lot of experience with the game, so I will be I should be able to have a good run. However, I do put in a caveat there in saying that in between recording sessions I will be grinding, both for leveling up and like leveling up my weapons and stuff like that, but more so for materials, because I want to be able to run through this game and not have to show you, the viewer, what it's like to grind through this game, because that's where this game slips pegs. That's why this is not my favorite Dark Souls game, is because of the grind that you have to do. But anyways, I've spoken enough about what is going to be happening in this LP. Let's get started. I will say it right now, the build that I'm going to be working towards is going to look a lot like this, primarily using this beautiful sword as my primary weapon when I get to it, and a slightly different costume, and I will get to that in a moment why. So, let us return to the title screen and build ourselves a new character. Turn to the title screen and build ourselves a new character. Seems a little out of sync. Test something when I get to main page here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. When I get to main page here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, apparently it's in sync. Anyways, new game.
Oh, yeah. Pale blue. Well, you've come to the right place. Yarnall is the home of blood administration. You need only unravel its mystery. But where's an outsider like yourself to begin? Easy, with a bit of Yarnall blood of your own. But first, you'll need a contract.
Alright, so one of my favorite things about this game is that the character creation is billed as you need a contract. I think that's just a unique way of doing things. So, first off, we are playing as a female character. Mainly because, as I said before, with the build I'm working towards, there's a very particular set of armor that I want to get to be able to wear. Also, I just want to see what certain armor sets look like on the female model. I've only seen a couple of them on the female model, and there are definitely sets in this game that are more geared towards female characters. We are also going to load a pre-existing design that I came up with. There she is. Change to that, and now here we go. Here are our classification descriptions. So, Milquetoos, ordinary, happy upbringing, all attributes are averaged. So, average across the board, slight more, 2 points more strength than skill, decent build, I guess. Lone survivor, lone survivor, the lost hamlet, high life essence and vigor. So 14 vit, and yeah, so high vitality start. So what I wonder is this whole lost hamlet thing, because there's an area in the game called the fishing hamlet. It's in the DLC, and we'll eventually get there. It's going to be a very long time before we do. So I wonder what that means, what does it mean? Troubled childhood, suffered misfortune in youth, high resilience as a result. So high endurance, high skill. Decent start for a skill build. Violent pass, terribly violent pass, rash but stronger for it. This is our build right here. This is the starting class that we're going to be using. Professional's not bad either. Born specialist, fit for sleuthing or academia. No, this is the skill build. So strength build, skill build. Military vet is the split where you got 14-13 on skill and strength. Experienced in war, a soldier with strength and skill, obviously. Noble scion that to a respectable line with faith in your pedigree. That's the blood tinge build, or blood tinge starter. Blood tinge is a tricky thing, because if you can use it properly, it can be very powerful, but you need the right amount of runes and a certain level of patience to be able to play that build. Faced terrible hardships, but now confident in your purpose is the cruel fate. This is the one that starts with high arcane. I'll say it right now, arcane is not very good. It's not the level of magic was in the Dark Souls games where you could pick it and it would be almost like the easy mode of the game. Waste of Skin is your new worthless class. You are nothing, talentless, you shouldn't have even been born. The best you have is 10 strength, like 10 strength, 10 vet. Like, you even start with lower blood echoes, which is the new soul counter. So, we are going to be using Violent Past. We have our appearance there. Might switch back to young. Yeah. So there we go with our character. Good to go. Oh, we gotta give them a name. So, I'm going to go with the feminine title to my name, Andrea. Let's begin. I will not be reading these workshop or loading screen items. You can do that if you wish, but gratefully they've improved these loading screens quite a bit. They used to be quite long. They're still quite long because this game is incredibly taxing on the hardware. Like, I imagine my... Oh.
Good. All signed and sealed. Now, let's begin the transfusion. Oh, don't you worry. Whatever happens, you may think it all a mere bad dream.
You found yourself a hunter.
All right. So, I don't know if anyone has figured out why the werewolf, or as they are called in this game, Scourge Beast, bursts into flame. But anyways, here we are in Yosefka's clinic. place where we got our blood transfusion. So this is definitely a Dark Souls game. It moves like a Dark Souls game. You have camera control. You have light attacks. You have heavy attacks. New thing is that you can charge those heavies. Currently, your left hand is also an attack. That will change once you get a weapon for it. You can also, from here, two-hand is now on the PlayStation 4 controller, it's L1. So now I am in two-handed mode, which means a slightly different attack. Even your L2 is an attack like that. So you can still attack. Still have rolls, you have dodges. Your X is just a confirm button. Your square is now use item, and your triangle is now heal. But I have currently no healing equipped, so I cannot heal. So, handwritten scrawl: seek pale blood to transcend the hunt. So that is our quest, to seek to find the pale blood. So this is the new message system, and that is a quite powerful player. I'm gonna give it a fine. So the little messenger guys dance when you tell them it's fine, and they get progressively worried if you tell it it's say that it is a foul note. So we're gonna run down here, take a look around. These are basic tutorial tips as I was showing off before. R3 is still lock on. And what will we need to lock on to? Oh, well, maybe that Scourge Beast over there. Now, he is at low health, so I could potentially kill him, but I'm not going to, because it's a waste of possibly dying, so I'm not going to. So the plan is I'm going to run away and then come back and fight him when I actually have some palpable weapons instead of just fists. So, let's run. Stamina use in this game is actually a lot lesser, I would say. They give you a lot more stamina because this game has a much mashier moveset compared to Dark Souls. So welcome to Central Yarnall. Very friendly welcome from the locals here. Try to lead you away. So it took them X amount of games, but you can now hold the circle button and up to climb faster without using stamina. And we have the first sound of a fearsome beast that we have to deal with soon enough. Yes, I know what a lamp is. Time to go back to the Hunter's Dream. There we go. Oh, pretty good so far, pretty good so far. Alright, welcome to the Hunter's Dream. It is Bloodborne's Nexus, Firelink, and Majula. So, what we're going to quickly do is pick up one of these trick weapons. The messengers offer you a trick weapon. Choose one. Choose one. The trick weapons are wielded with the right hand and employed in beast hunting. So we have 3 to choose from. We have the Saw Cleaver, one of the trick weapons of the workshop, commonly used in the hunting business. This saw effective I cannot read. This saw, effective at drawing the blood of beasts, transforms into a long cleaver that makes use of centrifugal force. It's got a cool springing mechanism that you can click to. You can even transform while dashing forwards to get a centrifugal force attack. The saw, with its set of bloodletting teeth, has become a symbol of the hunt and only grows in effectiveness the more grotesquely transformed the beast. So the saw is actually, scaling-wise, not that great. Base damage-wise, it's the second strongest. It is really good for quick attacks, but it is not our weapon. The Hunter's Axe, or Hunter Axe, one of the trick weapons of the workshop, commonly used on the hunt, so slightly different description. Retains the qualities of an axe, but offers a wider palette of attacks by transforming. Boasts a heavy blunt attack, leading to high rally potential. I will explain rally in a second. I like it. It's a cool system. It can mess with a few things, but it's still pretty cool. No matter their past, beasts are no more than beasts. Some choose this axe to play the executioner. And finally, the threaded cane. This is what you should use if you're going to do a dex build, because this thing is fantastic. One of the trick weapons of the workshop, commonly used by hunters on their duties. Sufficiently deadly as a rigid blade cane, but also serves as a whip when its blade is split into many. If you've ever played Soul Calibur, you'll immediately think of the character of Ivy. Concealing the weapon inside the cane and flogging the beast with the whip is part of an act of ceremony, an attempt to demonstrate to oneself that the bloodletting of the hunt will never encroach upon the soul. This weapon is actually really, it's the lowest out of all of them, but it's a lot of fun to use. But for the purposes of this playthrough, we will be using the Hunter's Axe. Now, the messengers offer you a firearm. Choose one, and firearms are wielded with the left hand employed in beast hunting. So we have the hunter's pistol made at the workshop for the hunting for hunters stalking beasts. Hunter's firearms are specially crafted to employ quicksilver bullets fused with the wielder's own blood, boasting damage against beasts. That's what blood tinge is. It's the blood scaling of your bullets. And weapons that do scale with blood tinge. The pistol is a quicker draw than the blunderbuss, allowing for speedier responses to attacks. The blunderbuss created at the workshop for the hunter's line of work. Hunters fire boasting damage against beasts. The impact is highly effective. Of this highly effective weapon counters beast swift movements, and its widespread is nigh on guaranteed to hit its mark. Now, I have found the pistol is much better. And finally, we are granted a notebook received from messengers. Leave messages with these loyal servants to share them with hunters in other worlds. This is your orange soapstone. We will get to that person in a minute, but let's go read some item descriptions of some of our other stuff. So we're going to equip the hunter's axe and the pistol. So currently we have 10 bullets, but I'm not going to waste them. So the axe, it's an axe. That's the combo that we can get with our current strength bar. You hit that, you get an overhead. If you charge it, you get a slightly larger overhead. But here is where Bloodborne shines. The transform. Because this weapon is now also a halberd. So, halberd has a wide sweep with an overhead, a thrust, and a slash. Your R2 is a overhead, normal, charged, it is a spin, and that is one of the best moves in the entire game right there. because powered up, that does a lot of damage. Your L2 is a wide sweep. Don't use it that much. I should actually use it more. So this thing is great. You've got different ones for rolling in. You've got running attacks, which is a thrust. And you've even got ones for what happens when you transform between different forms. So, the Hunter's Axe is a great weapon and will be great for a long time. But anyways, item descriptions, what I was going to read. Hood worn upon the awakening to the nightmare of blood and beasts. Perhaps its wearer had to stay out of sight, traveling by the cover of darkness. Without memory, who will ever know? We are actually going to take this hood off because it looks silly. Especially I want to show off the hair because I like the hair. Clothing worn upon the awakening to the nightmare of blood and beasts. Not typical clothing for Yarnall. Perhaps it is of foreign origin. It is said, after all, the traveler came to Yarnall from afar. Without memory, who will ever know? Whoops. Sullied bandages. Bandages worn upon the awakening of the nightmare of blood and beasts, terribly worn and unsanitary. A faint memory recalls blood ministration involving the transfusion of unknown blood, not long after the nightmare began. Whoops. Trousers worn upon the awakening of the nightmare of blood and beasts, not typical clothing for Yarnall, same as the coat. Okay. So first, we have an abandoned doll. We will come back to that doll in due time. So within here, we will get to this person over here in a bit. So here's your storage chest. When you exceed X amount of carried items, you can store additional items in here. This is the Hunter's Workshop that allows you to fortify your weapons with the new material called Bloodstone Shards and repair them if they were to be broken. This one Bloodborne carries a closer to Dark Souls 1 mythology of how things repair, is that you will not have to repair often, but when you do, you will have to do it manually from here. Finally, there is the memory altar, but currently we do not have the tool to be able to use it. So before we go back to where we were, let's talk to this person.
You must be the new hunter. Welcome to the hunter's dream. This will be your home for now. I am Gilbert, friend to you hunters. You're sure to be in a fine haze about now, but don't think too hard about all of this. Just go out and kill a few beasts. It's for your own good. You know, it's just what hunters do. You'll get used to it.
Alright, Gurman, you have for some reason trouble pronouncing your own name. Don't know why.
Once a safe haven for hunters. The workshop where hunters use blood
Alright,
to
Gurman.
enhance their weapons and flesh. We don't have as many tools as we once did, but you're welcome to use whatever you find. Even the dog, should it please you.
You creepy son of a bitch, Gurman. And we will learn more about why that's so creepy later.
This was once the workshop.
Alright. Alright. And away we go. Now we begin playing the actual game. So we will return to the sickbay and show that Scourge Beast what for. So here we go. So yeah, he's really weak on startup. But he presents us with blood vials. So sadly I cannot look at their description here, but once I get back to the Hunter's Dream I might be able to look at them. They're a special kind of blood designed for personal injection, allowing people to repair themselves. They are the new healing item. And fuck this top hat. More blood vials. The early game, they really like to give these to you because they want you to have at least a chance. So this is also the reason I love the Hunter's Axe, is that this thing is so powerful. Because startup, brand new enemies, 2 hits. Molotov cocktails, quite useful. Explodes in raging flames when thrown against an object. One of the oldest hunter's tools available in the workshop. Since the tragedy that struck old Yarnall, fire has become a staple in beast hunts and is thought to cleanse impurity. These things are unlike consumables and usables in other Dark Souls games. These things are actually quite useful. There's also the Hunter's Mark. So, description: dangling upside down, the rune etched into one's mind, symbol of the hunter. By focusing one's thought on this rune, a hunter can lose all blood echoes but awaken afresh, as if it were all just a bad dream. So, a couple things here. Number one, this is very close to the brand of Berserk. It's only missing, I think, about 4 lines in total to make it the brand of Berserk. Also, when you see corpses hanging in the game, they are hung like this, with their head and their arms. The other thing that was recently discovered is that if you take different combinations of these lines, you can actually create what you can spell the entire words of Bloodborne. Or at least most of it. You can definitely spell blood. I'm going to run over here and we're going to talk to any location that is a red lamp is a talking location.
Must be a hunter, and not one from around here either. I'm Gilbert, a fellow outsider. You must have had a fine time of it. Yarnall has a special way of treating guests. Well, I don't think I could stand if I wanted to, but I'm willing to help if there's anything that can be done. This town is cursed. Whatever your reasons might be, you should plan a swift exit. Whatever can be gained from this place, it will do more harm than good.
So what I wonder is how Gilbert is able to know that I'm not from this location. It's quite strange.
Pale blood, you say? Never heard of it. But if it's blood you're interested in, you should try the Healing Church. The church controls all knowledge on blood ministration and all varieties of blood. Across the valley to the east of Yarnall lies the town of the Healing Church, known as the Cathedral Ward. And deep within Cathedral Ward is the old Grand Cathedral, the birthplace of the Healing Church's special blood, or so they say. Yarnallites don't share much with outsiders. Normally they wouldn't let you near the place, but the hunt is on tonight. This might be your chance.
Got anything else, Gilbert?
To the east of Yarnall, you'll find
Cathedral Ward.
Deep within your best bet if it's anything to do with unique types of blood. Across the valley, deeply, I have that.
Alright, thank you, Gilbert. We get a little bit more of Gilbert as the game progresses. Pebbles. These are small rocks that look like as if they were eyes that can be thrown at people. They are quite useful. Alright, you cowards, let's go. So this is why the Hunter's Axe is so useful. You can do this. And of course, because it's a Miyazaki Souls game, there are lots of shortcuts. So this loops back around to where the first ladder was. Oh yeah, I'm not going over here because that guy is really tough. And the item you actually get from him isn't actually worth that much. So we're gonna run up here. Grab this item, which is just more Molotovs, and knock on this door.
You that outsider? I'm sorry, but I don't want anything to do with you. Trot along, will ya?
How do you know? That's what I don't understand. So these are the beasts. So the one thing that's interesting to note is that if you look at the actual Yarnall guys, they're getting closer to becoming beasts, but they're not all the way there. At least not yet. Also, nice detail. Every enemy that has a gun in the game drops bullets. Always. I'm gonna knock on this door. How does everybody know I'm an outsider? That's what I wonder, is like how do you know? Be wary of beast. More likely, be wary of trap. Ah, yes. The Great Bloodstone Shard. These are the upgradable. This is the Titanite of the game. Solid jar that forms in the cool blood. After death, a substance in the blood hardens, and that which does not crystallize is called a bloodstone. At the workshop, these bloodstones are embedded in weapons to fortify them. The Bloodborne has a unified material system where there is only one type. There is no twinkling titanite, there are no dragon scales, there's no there's no demon titanite or anything like that, or petrified dragon bone, anything. It is one system. So one thing you really have to be careful with this game that I'm bad at is stamina management. You gotta keep track of that you have enough stamina for all your encounters and you don't waste it. Like, that's why honestly doing less moves is better in this game. You also notice when I'm locked on that the icon for locking on is slightly different. It's a dot instead of a circle now. So I won't lie, this first area is actually pretty tough. Especially this dog. So if he gets you, or if you get locked up like that, really depressing if I die in Yarnall. So as you can see, my health didn't fully deplete there. It actually goes to that red bar, which is the regain system, that by swinging your weapon and soaking yourself in the blood of others, you can actually regain health. Fucking assholes taking pot shots at me. Alright, you son of a bitch. Alright, let's collect a few things here. So one thing that is a major danger in this game is overhealing, mainly because your health is no longer infinite with Estus. It is limited with blood vials. So you will have to be understanding of how much you are using. Cold blood dew. Droplet of cold blood contains blood echoes. Used to gain blood echoes, hunters sustained by the dream gain strength from blood echoes. They imbibed the blood with thoughts of reverence, indeed gratitude, from their victims. So it is the soul packets, except for instead of souls, they are blood packets. This game is very much, somebody ran the entire text of a Dark Souls game through the find and replace and just changed it all to blood. Fuck you, lady. Pro tip, kids, don't let these dogs out of these cages because they will tear you to pieces. You do not want that. Whoop, don't want to go down there just yet. So I have my brightness turned up, but when you actually set it to the recommended brightness, you can hardly see these guys. When the hunt began, the healing church left us, blocking the great bridge to Cathedral Ward as old Yarnall burned to the ground that moonlight night. Also, pro tip, don't go in here, you can get stuck. Alright, and now we have looped back to the lamp, which is quite good indeed. Alright, so from here, what do I want to do? Because I can take two paths here. I can go down there to where more of the dogs were and deal with a bit more there, or I can go up and around and engage the first boss, which might be a quick and easy way. I feel with 20 blood vials and stuff like that. Ooh. Now let's do it. Fuck these crows. These things are evil. They make vile noises. So what I did there is you can get a bonus to your health. But I'm going to shut up now because this is awesome. This is the first boss. And I really hope I don't die. I'm gonna cut your dick. Oh. Oh, no. So see what I mean about consumables in this game? It's fucking crazy. Like, consumables are currently doing more damage than my axe can. Whew! 3 blood vials used. That is a good attempt. And we earn the Sword Hunter's badge. Whew, I am happy about that. So pretty much every boss now spawns a lamp. Which is pretty cool because not every Dark Souls boss spawned a bonfire. So it was very possible for things to go awry. So, Sword Hunter's badge. One of the badges crafted by the Healing Church. The silver sword is a symbol of a church hunter. Ludwig was the first of many church hunters to come, many of whom were clerics, as it was. As it was, clerics transformed into the most hideous beasts. So, as we saw there, that was a cleric beast. And so that's what happens when you do blood administration. So we are now going to return to the Hunter's Dream and do a little inspecting.